should realize that all of history has been a hoax.
Right, right, right.
Finite resource is a crop of shit. It is a renewable resource, and oil is being used as an excuse for war, and then war profits the central banks, and, for instance, has bankrupted America in the case of the Iraq War. Virtually every big war that America's got involved in has bankrupted America. So America is a completely and multiply bankrupt country. Its constitution isn't worth the paper it's printed on. And the Queen of England writes the laws for America, and Americans pay their tax to the Queen of England. And the Queen of England is another illegitimate Rothschild in the long line of Rothschilds that have parented the British royal family and virtually created the British royal family. So Iraq has been taken over because it's an oil resource, and if America doesn't have oil, then it is in the Stone Age. And then in turn America is controlled by Israel, and Israel is just a representative of the central bank's social policy. So when America attacks Iraq, it's actually securing oil for the central bank, which then gives the central bank more control over all the other countries in the world.
Right, right.
So all the wars that have happened have either happened in drug countries, because governments love to feed drugs to their own population and then put them on social welfare, which is communism, or kill them and break up families and destroy marriages, and etc. So wars are either in drug countries or oil countries.
Right, Afghanistan, of course. The poppies began again after, when the Taliban was taken down the second time or whatnot. I don't know how long they've been going on there, but for that short period of time, when the Taliban was ruling the country, so to speak, they got rid of a lot of the poppy fields. But very soon after that, the U.S. invaded again, and now it's back up to producing standards, I guess, again.
Yeah, 98% of the heroin that gets into England comes from Afghanistan.
Right. And
it's flown there by NATO. NATO is now taking over the CIA as the biggest drug trafficker in the world. And when Japtoop Schaefer joins another country like Australia and New Zealand in 2005 into the NATO fold, officially joins them, he seals the deal with, in New Zealand's case, 10 kilograms of Afghan heroin.
Sheesh. I want
all the authority figures that we're looking at going, these are great figures that offer stability in the world. They're actually mafia operations doing whatever they can to destroy society, destroy families, and create wars. There's no good going on in government or central government. No benefit to any personal society.
But what is it? Why do you think that these has gotten such a strong hold of basically Earth at this point? I mean, many people are, again, that's the main question, so to speak. Of course, that many people are pondering upon. What's the main idea? What is it all about? I mean, either it's about getting rid of a lot of people, or it's just about sustaining again them as a criminal family, getting more money, getting more wealth, and just controlling everything. What are your ideas about that? What's the main objective, main motive?
The main motive is to create a dead zone. Like according to the Georgia Guidestones, they want to reduce the world's population down to 500,000 people. 500,000?
500 million, I think it is.
500 million, yeah. And it's 6.5 billion at the moment, so they want to cull 12 out of 13 people. So you've got like chemtrails, and they're spraying aluminium and barium and sort of bovine cancer and sheep sickness in the air. And the aluminium floats down, we breathe it in, it lodges in the brain, and then that becomes a receptor for messages sent by HAARP, a high active auroral research project. So that's one aspect, and the other aspect is to, for those survivors, just to create a dead zone where people are just working and paying their tax and then going home and watching TV and looking at further programming. So they're looking at absolutely 100% control of the human population and 100% control of the planet. And so far they own about, over 90% of the planet. So now what they're doing is they've already made all the social policy around the world socialistic, which is a front for communism. So in a lot of countries, most of the tenets of communism are in place. And now they're trying to take over the food sources by removing any quality elements out of the food, poisoning the protein elements like sheep and cows, and removing the natural fish source by overfishing, and then taking over the energy resources, which is to create wars around wherever there is oil, and then use that as justification for doubling, tripling, and quadrupling the price of oil. So they can only justify an increase in the price of oil if they have a war around oil fields.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like they want the public to know that what they are doing is a hoax.
Right.
And that you should realize that all of history has been a hoax, and that you've never lived in history, you've only ever lived in the con. You should realize that all of history has been a hoax.
Right.
Is a hoax.